Hello, sixth grade. Today's Wednesday, October 7th. Sorry, forgot for a second. Today in class, we started out by going over our new vocabulary words, and that would include, you know what I think I'm going to have you do just to help make sure you are thinking about the words. Write them down in I don't know, a language arts spiral, or you can write them on note cards if you want to have access to just be able to study them and quiz your parents or your family on the words. You could write them on note cards or you can write them in a language arts spiral, but I'd like you to write your words down and write down the definitions. So we went over our new vocabulary words for a story called All Summer in a Day. The first word is resilient. It means strong and something that can recover quickly would be called resilient. And here you can see a bunch of cacti in the desert, and plants that grow in the desert have to be resilient to hot, dry weather conditions and to limited water resources. Your next word is drenched. You can see it better. Drenched. If something is drenched, it is soaking wet. The dog was drenched after his bath. Slackening is your next word, and something that is slackening is slowing down. Here we can see a biker. The biker's pace started slackening as he went uphill. Your next word is frail. Something frail is weak and easily broken. The frail eggshells easily cracked even though the carton protected them. And your last word is savagely. To do something savagely is to do it in a forceful and unfriendly way. The male tigers are savagely attacking each other. Please either go back and pause me or rewind me and get those written down and definitions written down for them. If you don't want to go back and rewind, you can certainly find this in your My Book, the hard copy of your textbook, or you can find it on the HMH page simply by clicking, here's the story, My Book. And we're all done with identity theft, and we're moving on to a new story today. And as you're reading today, you want to be thinking in the back of your mind, what does Ray Bradbury do as an author that makes his story worth reading? Let's see. Here we go, All Summer in a Day. And if you click on All Summer in a Day, prepare to read, and the Prepare to Read button, all of your vocab words are here. Critical vocabulary for the story, you can click them and get their definitions. Next, we did some possible sentences. So using these words and phrases that are from the text, you're going to come up with 3 possible sentences that you're just going to make up on your own right now. You have to pick 3 words and phrases from this big list and put them together in a sentence that makes sense, that maybe could be true in the story. So we have scientists really know, 7 more years, Margot, that's how you spell a girl's name, Margot, 2 hours, wildly, it's like a fire, ready, crushed, grown, loud, wet world, hurry, Earth, Venus, remember, don't wait, tunnel, they crowded, sky darkened. So you're going to take 3 of these and try writing a sentence. So I'll write it in a different color here. So for example, let's see, I'm going to use Margot will be the subject of my sentence. What does she do? Where does she live? Venus or Earth? Margot lived in a loud, wet world called Venus. I don't know for sure if that's right, but it could be a true sentence. Let me think of something different. Ooh, sky darkened. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. As the sky darkened, then what? Margot hurried. So I took the word hurry and I changed it to a different form of the word. I said she hurried to the tunnel. It could be a possible sentence. So you won't use either of these two. You'll come up with 3 of your own. So make sure you have 3 sentences. And you will send those to me. Thank you much. And so we introduced the vocab coming up. We did some possible sentences. And then your job is to, let's see, how to do this with kids who are gone. So this is getting you ready to read, making you think about some of the words and phrases that are in the text. I think the next thing you need to do is get some sticky notes ready. Get out 5 sticky notes. 1 you'll write a C on for character. 1 you'll write a P for problem. 1, we decided to change this to, we didn't want to be confused. You'll put an R on for resolution. That's how the problem gets resolved. And then you'll put an S on one for the setting. You can put an FL, just write it small on the sticky note for figurative language. And that's, we're looking for places where Ray Bradbury actually uses similes and metaphors, or when he uses sensory details, sensory words to help us know how it smells, looks, or feels. We're looking for the awesome kinds of words that he picked out, or the ways he wants to compare things to get us to really be able to visualize it and understand it the most clear possible way. All right, so I'll give you a minute to do that. Pause me. Okay, you've unpaused me now and you have your sticky notes ready, correct? So what I did today was read the first page. It's on page, starts on page 96. And I'm going to talk a minute about fantasies and then I'll read the first page. This story on page 96 is a fantasy. Fantasies are imaginative stories with characters and events that are not real. I told the class that I felt like this was more of a science fiction because it's not true, but with the ways of science always changing, sometimes things that were science fiction movies from the past actually have things that are coming true today, and they don't seem so wild and crazy after new technologies come out. So I would argue a little bit for that, but the point is that the story is not true. There are things in it that defy what we know to be true about I think it's more about the setting. And authors of fantasy stories use sensory details, and there will be a plot that includes a conflict and a solution or a resolution. All right, here we go. Page 98, starting reading. Ready? Ready. Now? Soon. Do the scientists really know? Will it happen today? Will it? Look, look. See for yourself. The children pressed to each other like so many roses, so many weeds intermixed, peering out for a look at the hidden sun. I'm going to draw your attention to the figurative language that he's already using. He's describing children as being roses, and apparently some of them are weeds. So you definitely need to take note when you see like so many, that something is like something else is a simile. It rained. It had been raining for 7 years. Thousands upon thousands of days compounded and filled from one end to the other with rain, with the drum and gush of water, with the sweet crystal fall of showers and the concussion of storms so heavy they were tidal waves come over the islands. 1,000 forests had been crushed under the rain and grown up 1,000 times to be crushed again. And this was the way life was forever on the planet Venus. And this was the schoolroom of the children of the rocket men and women who had come to a raining world to set up civilization and live out their lives. So we stopped here and we wrote on our S sticky note that we are on the planet Venus, and that something else we know about the setting is that it has been raining for 7 years. We also talked about who our characters are. We have children at school. You may want to also put that for setting. And these are the children of the rocket men and women. So people left planet Earth to go set up a civilization on Venus. And I'm pretty sure I've heard that this is happening currently. They're trying to set up a civilization on Mars. So that's why, to me, this seems more like science fiction, because it seemed crazy when you wrote it. It seemed kind of out there, but as new technologies are developed, it's something that could maybe actually happen. Back to the text, line 10. It's stopping, it's stopping. Maybe that's paragraph 10, sorry. Yes, yes! Margot stood apart from them, from these children who could never remember a time when there wasn't rain and rain and rain. They were all 9 years old, and if there had been a day 7 years ago when the sun came out for an hour and showed its face to the stunned world, they could not recall. So imagine if you were 9 years old. Could you remember back when you were 7 years ago? Margot doesn't think these kids can remember. Sometimes at night she heard them stir in remembrance, and she knew they were dreaming and remembering gold, or a yellow crayon, or a coin large enough to buy the world with. She knew they thought they remembered a warmness, like a blushing in the face, in the body, in the arms and legs, and trembling hands. But then they always awoke to the tatting drum, the endless shaking down of clear bead necklaces upon the roof, the walk, the gardens, the forests, and their dreams were gone. Another figurative language is comparing that sound of the rain to like a beaded necklace, kind of sounds like marble shaken together, that's the constant noise that they always hear. Also, we get a glimpse at Margot. We know that she thinks that she is different from the other kids. They think they can remember. We're going to learn more about her as we go on. Your job as a reader for the next few pages is to mark where you learn more about Margot. So you put your C sticky note there. You can write in your hard copy of your book any details that you learn about Margot. You're also looking for the problem. We know that this rain seems to be kind of a piece of the problem, because they've already kind of said that it's incessant, never ending. But there is more problem later. So mark that with a sticky note when you come across it. Please also mark where you come across how that problem is resolved. How does it end up? Even if it's not the way you would want it to be resolved, please mark where it does get resolved. So you could put the setting sticky note right on page 98 that I just read, because you learned that the setting is at school on Venus, a planet where it's always raining. This is probably taking place in the future because this hasn't happened yet. So setting, character, you're going to learn more about Margot. The plot is the problem and the solution. And then if you notice more figurative language, please highlight it or put your figurative language sticky note on that. And that's your assignment. Finish reading the text, put your sticky notes in. You have a spelling test due tomorrow. I need it tomorrow, please. And the last thing is make sure your cursive gets turned in to me tomorrow. Have a lovely Wednesday.